And we're live.
Woo!
It's break time. I'm not going to set a timer for this first one because I don't know how long we're going to chat. We got so many things to talk about today.
So many things to talk about.
Yeah, there's a lot. Huh?
You feel like yapping?
Yeah, I do. I feel like talking a bit before we start reading today because there's just been a lot going on. So we had the end of Summerween last week, and then I had like I call it a Summerween. I call it like a victory lap of horror content. Like I was still in that spirit. So then I read Strange Houses and Strange Pictures over the course of this week, and they're both really good. I liked Strange Pictures better.
Strange Pictures, I do feel, is the better story.
And you mentioned last week that Strange Houses was his first book.
Yes.
And then Strange Pictures was the second.
Yes, and I definitely feel like it feels that way.
But we released it in the other order over
here. The U.S. released it in the opposite order, which I feel was a mistake.
Yeah.
Because it feels like... I get why they did it, because they wanted to start off with the stronger book. Mm-hmm. But when you read the second book, it feels like... It isn't like broadcast within that book that this is his first book. Mm-hmm. So it feels like naturally you would assume this was the next one.
Right.
Because that's how time works. And so then you read a not as good book. And it's kind of like, oh, maybe Strange Pictures was a fluke.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
I think that was a mistake. I think it would have been better to release Strange Houses, which I still really liked. And then to follow it up very quickly like they did with Strange Pictures.
Now, I would recommend both. I was also curious to see if once I read Strange Pictures, because Strange Pictures is also getting a manga release here.
Strange Houses is getting
after reading Strange Houses.
Yes.
Because Strange Houses is getting a release here.
There you go.
I thought, I was wondering, like, am I going to want to go back and read the manga?
Right.
But I feel like toward the end of that book, they dump a lot of characters on you very quickly.
Things get very convoluted at the end.
And it has a lot to do with families and their, like, bizarro history. And I do think having the visuals of like, this is this person.
Yeah.
This is this character.
Instead of just being a name on a page, having a face and like...
Yeah. I think that will help to make it more approachable, I guess I'd
more
say. More
digestible.
Yeah. So I'm still wanting to get the manga series, even though it's basically a 1-to-1 translation.
I don't see how you could change anything and make it work, because it's all one story. Mm-hmm. So you have to tell the same story.
And this is a trend that I don't think I've touched on before on the channel or anywhere, that I've been seeing a lot lately, is like a lot of manga adaptations of other things. I've seen At the Mouth of Madness, H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah, there's a couple, and I want to pick those up. I've been wanting to pick those up.
I've seen The Three Body Problem as a manga adaptation.
I haven't seen that one.
It was Kinokuniya.
I believe you.
I picked it up. I believe you said, "Hey, you're reading The Three Body Problem."
Did I?
I think so. Like, we had a little bit of a dialogue
interesting.
about it. But that's
maybe
another one that
maybe I didn't realize it was a manga adaptation.
Okay. But that was... that's just been an interesting trend I've seen lately, is adaptations. And I don't think that was the case back when we were reading it, like...
I think it comes in cycles. I don't think as many adaptations probably got licensed. But like when we went to the manga cafe in Kyoto, I found the Les Mis manga.
That's true. And like there are some that are... Well,
and there are a bunch of manga classics. They're just not licensed by Viz and...
Yeah.
Kodansha.
Yeah.
They're not in the bookstores with the manga. They're online or they're in libraries to try to reach a different audience, because your mainstream manga reading audience isn't looking to read Les Mis in manga form.
Yeah. So,
except for that one shop in Austin had them.
Okay. And I know we've done, like, there was a Count of Monte Cristo anime that didn't have that title and was crazy.
Gekko? Oh, it started with a G.
It did in fact start with a G.
Started with a G.
And
it had that cool fabric thing that you didn't like.
Weird, it hurts my eyes so bad. And I think he was a vampire?
Yeah, it was something weird.
Yeah, so like they definitely took some liberties. Whereas now what I'm seeing is like straight
adaptations.
I looked at the back of I think volume 3 of Three Body Problem that was at the store, and it was literally like lines out of the book. I could place exactly where that was happening in the book in the book story.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
So that was like the first thing I wanted to touch on was Summerween. How did your Summerween go?
I have delayed Summerween. I read one book in one day.
For Summerween?
For Summerween.
Yeah, and then we got caught up with
Summer Games Done Quick.
Yeah.
And I started library. How far am I through Library at Mount Char? Not quite halfway. I am definitely farther than I was the last time I started it.
Okay. That's cool. Get to the lion scenes. Those are my favorite characters.
Oh, the lions, yes.
Yes.
Not to be confused with the tiger.
No.
Those are different characters.
Those are completely separate animals and completely different characters.
I have met the lions, and the lions are with Steve.
Yeah, Steve's also cool. I like him. He's like our fish out of water, like, gets thrown into this insane...
He's your everyman who gets roped into their nonsense.
Yeah, gets roped into this insane plot. I love it.
So yeah,
I need to reread that, honestly.
Huh?
I need to reread that.
Probably. It's been a while for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I want to try... I'm going to just delay Summerween and probably do it this week.
Okay.
This coming week. And just try to get through the end of this book and then the 2 other books that I had that I bought for Summerween last year.
Right.
I didn't read.
Yeah.
So that I could try to do those and maybe make a video and put something up. I don't know.
Yeah. I got through my Summerween reads this year, but it was down to like the very last day. I had to really push it because of Summer Games Done Quick being at the exact same time. But I've got 2 videos on that. I have a TBR, and then my last 2 wrap up videos were basically like the start of Summerween and then the bulk of Summerween.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear about Strange Houses manga, about Violet, what was the one, the Flashlight, Stage Fright, all those books.
What was the audiobook you listened to?
I listened to Ghost Station.
Ghost Station. I'm like, not Dead
S.A.
Inside.
Barnes. Unfortunately, I think that's it for S.A. Barnes.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to read any more from S.A. Barnes. Gave him 2 tries.
Not even an audiobook?
No.
That you don't have to pay for?
I can find something else.
Unless you hear, like, amazing things.
Yeah, I guess. If someone's like, oh my god, changed my life, then I'd be like, okay, fine.
Well, I mean, more like if you hear it from someone who went, I didn't like the first 2, but I really like this one.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. Yeah, they do have another one coming out. Or they do have another one out, I think, already. In the same vein as the last 2.
They both seem like they had such good premises, but it doesn't seem like they...
It's sci-fi horror, and I feel like the follow-through is not there.
Yeah. Well, that was my problem with... Well, it wasn't sci-fi, but my problem with Boys in the Valley was it... I felt like it completely squandered the demonic possession trope. Plot, I don't know what to call it, theme. It didn't, I don't feel like the author understood what made demonic possession scary. I don't feel it was used to any great effect to up the tension or the mood even.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it was ever scary. A lot of people died. It was pretty like violent, but it wasn't scary.
My problem with Ghost Station is it felt like it would try to do a lot of things at once and did a lot of them badly. It did the horror kind of badly by not keeping it mysterious. It did... The relationship was not good. It tried to have all these, like, women empowerment message and, like, corrupt government or corrupt corporation message. And I'm just like, it got so muddled because it was trying to do all these things instead of focusing and doing a good job on one of them or 2 of them.
Boys in the Valley was also very weird because I somewhat thought that the story of a bunch of boys in a strict Catholic orphanage where one of the priests is like set up as a bad guy, like way too strict, authoritarian, like abusive. Like, I'm like, okay, this is a book that is going to be critical of the church. And I'm Catholic, so, like, this did not bother me. The church deserves to have things be critical of it. And I thought that the other priest, who was, like, the really nice one, I thought we were headed toward, like, some darker things with him, even. And I was like, oh, okay.
You said that something in there just dropped off, right? Like, they just don't mention it anymore.
There's a character who is being trained to be a priest. And at the beginning of the book, he decides, spoilers, I guess, for Boys in the Valley. At the beginning of the book, he decides, I'm not going to be a priest. I don't want to be a priest. I want to go get married to the girl who lives on the farm and have a family and be with her. Because I am in love with her. And that's what I want. I don't want to be a priest. I do not want to be a priest. And it's going to break Priest Andrew's heart when I have to tell him that I don't want to be a priest. But I don't want to be a priest.
He says that many times, huh?
And then all this nonsense happens with an actual demonic possession that is never really, like... explained isn't the right word, but, like, it's just kind of there. It's not scary. It should have been. Part of what's really scary with demonic possession is not knowing who is affected. This person looks like the person you love. It's like the zombie thing. This person looks like the person you love. They might even act like the person you love. But now they're not the person you love. They're possessed by a demon. And what would you do? Would you be able to do what has to be done to protect yourself and other people you love from this person? squanders that entirely. You know who's affected by the demonic nonsense almost immediately, except for one kid.
Okay.
One kid they keep secret. So that at the middle of the story they could go, oh, he was possessed too! But it's so silly that one kid was acting that way for seemingly no reason. They didn't know he was going to be in this position that he was in. So there's no reason that this one specific kid should have been hiding that he was affected. Other kids would have been much more effective to have seemed like they were on their side and then switched. And then at the very end, the priest is dying and just like gives the boy he ordains him as a priest.
Sure.
At the end, so that he can like fight the demons as a priest. Sure. And he's just like, yes, this is what I must do. And I'm like, no, you didn't want to be a priest. It made me so mad.
I'd say I've also read some good possession stories that were from the perspective of the person being possessed, and the way those work most effectively is lack of control and lack of awareness of who you are, what's.
There's one character in the story who is a bad person. Like, he's a former convict who's come to this monastery, or this it's not a monastery, but he works at this orphanage now. And like, he is not a good person. And he is affected by the possession, but not the same way that it seems like the boys are. And there are some really interesting scenes from his point of view. That is like the only good thing in the book. But it affects him completely differently than the boys, for some reason. There was an interesting parallel going on between like the one boy who had been more affected by the abusive priest and the one boy who was being more raised by the good priest. Like, they were the leaders of the boys, and you had like they were on opposite sides of who had kind of like raised them, more or less, but that didn't go anywhere. Like, it seemed like it should have had something to say about this, and it came like real close and then didn't do anything with it. The book had huge mistakes at the end where they didn't even seem to remember who was still alive. There's a kid who jumps out a window and then is just gone. He's not there in the next scene because they forgot. Oh, also the author switched two characters, who they were, because they had similar names, and the author just mixed them up in the last chapter.
That's fun.
Which was really frustrating. So it was just a mess. I really didn't like that book. I didn't read that recently. I read that in January, but, you know.
So you want to talk about what we're reading tonight?
Sure. I'm picking up The Library at Mount Char, which you cannot see. You're very far away.
Yeah.
This is The Library at Mount Char by Scott Hawkins. This is a book. Oh my god, how do you describe this book?
It's amazing is what it is.
This is a story of Carolyn and her siblings, who are not really her siblings, her adopted siblings,
okay,
who were adopted by a man who may or may not be God, and they've all been instructed in some specialty.
Yeah, I love how hard you're bearing the lead here. Of like, you waited so long to mention that God was potentially in here, and also trained in some specialty, like learning, like knowing every single language.
I mean, I was getting to that.
I'm just saying you're.
There's just a lot going on in this book. Carolyn's specialty is languages, which includes like the languages of animals.
Sure.
And I can't remember if plants had a language. I don't remember. But she can understand, if not speak, almost all languages, including like super ancient languages. That's what she studied. And like one of her siblings studied healing, and one studies death, and one studies war and violence, and one studied animals.
Yeah.
And one studies the far future, and then one studies predicting the future, which are not the same thing, surprisingly. And so something is going on. They cannot get into their home.
Yeah. They basically have superpowers, though.
Yeah, they all have a superpower, but they're not allowed to learn about the other people's powers.
Right.
The plot of the book is that at the moment, the problem they are trying to solve is they are trying to get They're trying to find their father. Something has happened. They don't know where their father is, and they are currently locked out of their home.
Mm-hmm.
Like the entire neighborhood, they can't get in.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've got these incredibly powerful people who do not know how to interact with normal humans.
Mm-hmm.
Carolyn's the closest.
Yeah, same.
But like they had to wear clothes, and so David, the murder guy, is wearing a tutu and a flak jacket. And like the main girl wears leg warmers and galoshes, a cardigan, and bike shorts.
Yeah.
Like they stand out horribly because they don't know how to dress themselves. Because I don't know, I think they wore just like robes in the library.
Sure.
So they're not used to wearing American clothes, is what they call it. So we are learning as we go, and I don't think this is a spoiler because from the beginning you know that there's a lot going on that you're not being told. Mm-hmm. Carolyn has done something. Carolyn knows more than she has let the reader know that she knows. We are aware that Carolyn is lying. We are very aware that Carolyn is lying. We are introduced to her tells that she is lying, and her trying to suppress those tells, her trying to suppress things from people who might be able to read her mind. Sure. We are very directly, at least two of her siblings can read her mind.
Yeah.
So we are introduced very directly to the fact that Carolyn is being careful about what is projecting out of her. Mm-hmm. We do not yet know exactly what she has done. Mm-hmm. But I do believe I am at the point in the book where she is putting plans into motion. Okay. Like I feel like she's been kind of setting stuff up until now, and she's just kind of made a move.
Yeah. And what's the rest of the stack here?
Oh, stuff. I have Where the Body Was, which is a graphic novel that I was going to read for Summerween. Mm-hmm. I bought this last year because it is a puzzle box mystery. I like puzzle box mysteries. And it shouldn't take too long to read, so I grabbed it in case I didn't feel like reading words. And then I just grabbed the next two for my manga tournament, which are The Ancient Magus Bride and Ascendance of a Bookworm, which doesn't feel fair because Ascendance of a Bookworm is so much thinner. So it feels like it's like half the size of it, so it feels really unfair to put one volume of this up against the other one. So we'll see if that has any effect on how the rating goes. This is the second to last read for round 1.
Okay.
So like I think I'll have to be more careful when I get to round 2 so as not to spoil anything of what I'm reading. Yeah. But this is still round 1. Going into this, I did rank the top 8 and the bottom 8 as like the favorites and the underdogs. So Ascendance of a Bookworm was the favorite, and Ancient Magus Bride was the underdog. But this one, honestly, I feel like this was not the top of the top 8. These were both, I feel, kind of middle. So this could go either way. Okay. I'm really... The premise of this grabs me more, but like not to the point where I'm like, oh, there's no way this one could win, or like I don't know enough about this one.
Fair enough. I've got The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi. I've been wanting to read this one for a while. I know Emily at the Astral Library showed off her like very pretty cover, her very pretty copy of this.
I feel like half the people we follow on BookTube have talked about this book.
Yeah. And I'm reading this because I'm thinking about doing a series of, other than just wanting to read it, I'm thinking about doing a series of recommending books based off of other books. And this is one that I think I might be able to recommend off of One Piece because it's pirates. And I thought, like, Piratey Connection.
One of the things I remember about that one is that the hero isn't, like, a plucky young upstart. It is, like, an adult woman. And that's one thing that, like, really, I know grabbed a lot of people, is that she is, like, a more mature heroine who, like, has done stuff. This isn't her first adventure. She is an established adventurer. Yeah. And a lot of people really liked that.
And then, similarly, if that's not going well for me because it's late and I'm tired already, we've got Aster and the Accidental Magic, which was just a cute graphic novel that I found last time we were at the bookstore. It gives me like Hilda vibes.
It did look very Hilda-like.
And has a cute little fox.
We should buy more Hilda.
And then I also have Destroy All Humans, They Can't Be Regenerated, Volume 4. I have done a review for this series. It is about Magic the Gathering and middle schoolers falling in love. So it is a romance book, but with Magic the Gathering as a backdrop. Also, every volume comes with a promo card. Ooh. And I could easily find out what it is because we're getting the same ones that Japan got.
Yeah.
But,
so you could know in advance.
But I don't look. I looked one time.
Just to kind of see what was out there.
Yeah. I think at some point there's going to be one that's a Brainstorm, which is a pretty cool card. So.
Now, are those cards legal? Like, are they?
I mean, in the format I play, yeah. Commander, almost everything.
Everything's legal in Commander.
As far as like
legal if you don't care enough.
Could you play it in like standard? That's a really good question. I don't know how persnickety they are with like, so like it would have to be within the list of cards that are playable.
Or the current meta.
Yeah, I think in modern you'd be able to use them because the only difference between those cards and the copies of those cards that are legal are the little symbol on it.
Yeah.
But I tend not to worry about legality because
you don't play those formats.
With very few exceptions, I can play whatever I want.
Because even like you play so casually that even if you came up with a card from the ban list and you were like, "Hey, this is in my deck. Are you cool?" and your friends would be like, "Yeah, cool."
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, like I've looked at some silver bordered cards for like building around as a commander, and I don't think there'd be much of an issue with like, "Hey, can I play this wonky weird thing?" Most of the time, people are gonna be fine with it.
Yeah.
But I do want to get to some reading.
Did we talk about where we were tonight?
We did not talk about where we were, and why we're so tired. Carly's here.
Woo! Yay! Tonight we went to a Pokemon trivia night with our children.
Yeah.
Who are obsessed with Pokemon, our daughter especially.
We did okay.
Yeah, I'd say we were solid middle.
Solid middle. There were some obscure questions. There were some trick questions.
There was one trick question.
Uh-huh.
Our daughter did not like that. She was really upset.
I didn't like it.
She was really bad.
I didn't like it. I don't think that you should be doing stuff like that on a trivia
I don't
game.
think you should either, but it was one question.
That's true.
But there were Pokemon cookies, where someone had decorated cookies really adorably, like Pokemon.
Pokemon themed ice cream.
There's Pokemon themed ice cream. I had the Thunderbolt.
I had the fire something.
Where the fire
punch?
Fire punch? I think it was fire punch. And then the kids had Razor Leaf.
Yeah, there was also just a really nice lady there serving. What was it?
There was a Polish food truck.
Yeah.
It was really good.
It was really good, and she was a really nice lady.
She was so sweet. And we got recognized from the last comic book store event we went to.
Yeah, because this was put on our comic book store, so there's our book connection. We can talk about it.
Yeah, there's the book connection.
And
as soon as we walked in,
she was like, "Oh, you guys were at our
the Unico signing."
Which, to be fair, there weren't a lot of people at the Unico one. There was only
and it was the most recent event, so it's not like it had been a while. Like we were at the last thing, so. Yeah. But it was still cool that she recognized us, so.
Yeah, it was nice.
But yeah, I was happy that so many of the questions were from the original 151. Mm-hmm. Like, not all of them were. There were questions that went outside. But, like, that's what I know.
Yeah, and I thought there was a wide range of, like, interesting questions. So they had some questions about the movies, some questions about the TV show.
About the card game.
They had that whole section. They had a whole section on, like, every Pokemon has, like, a nickname associated with it. And so they'd give you these really weird nicknames and say, like, okay, who's the
I'm still mad that I knew two of them and didn't and didn't plug myself hard enough.
I mean, we were all just like flailing around guessing. So
well, the ones we knew. Except for the one tricky one, but. It was fun. We only had us and our kids, which our daughter knew a lot. Our son did not contribute hardly at all. Mm-hmm. He's only 4.
Yeah, he was hanging out, though.
He had a good time. He was happy to get cookies and ice cream.
So, in the comments, let us know what you're reading, how's it going, if you like Pokemon, who's your favorite Pokemon? Magikarp, probably.
Eevee. But Yamper and Piplup are close.
And I like Furret and
Snorlax.
Snorlax. Yeah, I've got a lot that I enjoy. Snorlax is good. He's sleepy. But we're gonna go ahead and start our first sprint. We'll probably just do 2. We're already
dying.
drifting. So we'll probably do 2 sprints of 45 minutes. We'll see what we can get through. Have fun. Get stuff done.
Read books.
Let's go.
Woo!
Okay, we're back. I was able to get about 30 pages, a little bit more, into my book. So, pretty decent. Considering I'm like falling asleep over here.
I got about 20, but I was looking for something that I didn't find. So now I'm going to have to keep looking for it.
It's very, harkens back to Tales of the Arabian Nights. In fact, it starts with a quote. It starts with several things. It has the dedication, it has the author's note, and it has a quote from the Sixth Voyage of Sinbad the Sailor. So not... Is that in Arabian Nights? Or is that a separate book? I can't remember.
I don't know.
But sets the tone pretty well, I feel. And then the character of Amina is just a very fun voice. So a lot of like lead into this, because then of course after the dedication and the author's note and the quote, there is like a I don't know what you would call them, like, you know, someone saying like, gather around and listen to the story of...
Prologue?
Yeah. Well, like, what would you call that person though? Like someone who's just like not like a crier, but like...
The narrator?
But it's
storyteller?
Yeah, it's presented like a storyteller. And then it feels like at the beginning it's her narrating to the storyteller, like dictating, because there's all these things of like, what do you mean that's not how you start a story? A biography? You wish for a biography? Who do you think you are chronicling? So like a lot of like back and forth between them, but starts off very strong. A quick little story to begin with about her going out and this magic sea foam attacking people. We should set a timer.
What?
Yeah, well, I mean, just to keep us honest. How's your book going?
Fine. We got some backstory for one of the characters, because this book tends to do like a multi-parted chapter about one thing, and then there's an interlude that usually tells you about the past.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh no.
The most recent interlude was about Steve, and it clarified some things we'd been hinting about his backstory.
Uh-huh.
So I was trying to go back and find the thing.
Yeah. Carly, so sorry for scaring you. She says she had him on the TV, heard a voice, and scared her.
Oh no.
Apologies.
It's like all the alarms when breaks go off whenever anyone's doing a reading sprint are always like, yeah.
Yeah. So you weren't able to find the thing?
No, I wasn't able to find the thing. I know it was a line like, does anybody hate you that much? And he was like, yes, but they're dead. And I was trying to find that. And I remember that line, but I haven't been able to find it yet. So I had flashback lines, and now I've got Steve making some decisions.
I think the next sprint, I'm going to finish my chapter and then probably pick up one of these, because I am drifting something fierce. So what else has been going on that we want to chat about?
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Which is another video I want to do, if you like K-pop Demon Hunters, look at these things.
These books.
But I'm waiting for one more book. And then I will make that video as well.
You could start the video.
I could start the video. I could do, I have a lot already that I have ideas for.
'Cause that's my problem. I have like 3 or 4 videos in stages of being filmed.
Okay.
Well, because like I have my manga tournament that I've been filming as I go. I have my one where I try to find the books that I read when I was younger, based on whatever I remember about the books. And like I have found 2 of them.
Okay.
And the other ones, I think, one I know I read from the library at school when I was in elementary school. Mm-hmm. The other one I knew. The other one I'm. It's basically like both the ones I can't find are the ones I think I know the titles of.
Okay.
So I probably just need to get on Goodreads and like film myself looking them up to see if I remember them right. I feel like there might have been one more too, but I know those two. And since I can't find them, if I'm going to do this, I just need to get them from the library.
Yeah. I want to do a books I got last year from the library, and we need to finish. We need to
upload our library stuff, yeah.
Maybe I'll do that tonight.
That's going to be a pain because we have to do it 3 times.
I guess, yeah.
Well, and they all do it a little differently. One of them does time. Honestly, that one will be the easiest. Because I don't even think you have to put in the book you were reading. You can just tell it, I read 30 minutes on this day, I read 30 minutes on this day.
2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours.
And then even the ones for, like, the kids are pretty easy because they don't need that many books. And our kids read a lot of books. So I just need to go through with a stack of books I know the kids have read this summer and put them in on close to the days I know they read them.
Like I said, I've got it all. I've had it all in my journal.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of actually doing it.
Yeah. I was much better about it last year, about putting things in as we did them.
Yeah.
And then I need to check ours. If ours is 20 books, then I might not be there yet.
20 books over the summer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've done that.
I don't. Even including manga and graphic novels, I'm not sure I'm there.
Okay.
I need to look. That's the other problem is I've been really bad about keeping track of when I read stuff. So, like, I just kind of need to figure out what I know I read this summer and then probably just sit down with a stack of manga to, like, top it off.
Yeah. I am at least good about, like, when I finish a book, I get on Goodreads and say that I finished it.
Yeah.
I don't say I've started a book.
Which would be super easy.
Yeah. I don't say I've started a book. But I did also say that I was going to start using Storygraph more this year, and I just didn't. That. It's just hard to get into another system. It's hard to, like, make the transition over. But I really like their, like, breakdowns. They're very useful. They have a lot more, like, charts and things you can look at for...
But only if you enter all your stuff.
Yeah, and I haven't.
I haven't put anything in Goodreads since January. Maybe February.
Okay.
But I did sit down because I need to do my mid-year freakout tag. And so I did finally sit down and attempt to figure out what books I have read this year. Yeah. Which was an ordeal. But I think I got most of them because I've been making piles of, like, the books I had read to keep them together. I just don't know, and I know kind of the order I read them in. I just don't know when exactly I read them.
Yeah. Carly, let us know what you're reading and, like, how's it going. So yeah.
So yeah, I need to do my mid-year freakout tag. I need to read a bunch of the books that I bought because I keep buying books and not reading them. Yeah. I'm very good at the hobby of book buying.
Yeah. I feel like I've been... My cart's still full. But I feel like I've been reading books. I'm up to 130-ish, I want to say right now.
I dislike you incredibly strongly.
Why? I read books. You love people who read books. You love reading books.
I do love reading books, but you do it better than me, and it makes me sad.
Yeah. Also, other than Games Done Quick recently, I also got into a couple of video games that I'm spending a lot of time with.
That Islands game is addictive.
Yeah, we're playing Islanders, which is just this, like, really cozy
city builder
on these really pretty islands, and it's a lot of the things I like about like board games that I really enjoy, of like, oh, if this thing goes next to this thing, then it's worth more points. And you don't.
So you have to kind of think like, oh, I want to put this down first. because this will be worth more points if it's getting this thing.
And then like every item you put down, every building you put down has like a sphere around it, and it'll be different sizes.
Like a sphere of influence.
Yeah, it'll be different sizes, and you have to make sure it's near some buildings but away from other buildings. My favorite is the pyre. It's like a fire, like the signal fires they light in Lord of the Rings, and it's Lord of the Rings, right?
I don't know. Yes.
And you want them to be able to see the city centers and other pyres, but you want them to be far away from them. It's a lot of fun. Reading the book the author sent, called The Last Nanny.
Is it a thriller?
Started it at like 6 today. I'm half done. Wow, that's good. That's good work.
That's good. I'm almost halfway done with this one.
Yeah, I'm halfway done with Daisy Jones and the Six, the audiobook, and I'm in the middle. The chapters are so long. It's only it's only a 9-hour audiobook.
That's not that bad.
Carly says it is a thriller.
Okay, I thought. I remembered Carly read lots of thrillers.
It's only a 9-hour audiobook, but the chapter I'm currently on was 3 hours long.
Wow, so it's not very many chapters.
It's fully a third of this book. Is just this one chapter, and I listened to this one chapter for an hour. The audiobook, by the way, is really, really good. You recommended it based on the audiobook, having not read it at all. Just from what I've heard. Yeah. But it's highly recommended. Fully voiced, full cast. Every single character has a different VA, which really sells the... So the book is about a rock band in the 70s and all their like trials and tribulations. And having a fully voiced cast makes it feel like you're watching a VH1, like, Where Are They Now kind of special. I found it. Okay, good. With like all the band members talking about it. And the thing that I find the most interesting is, I was talking to you about not the ironic repetition, but like the repetition for like jokes of like, I think his exact words are "what the hell," and then like it'll go to that guy and be like, "what the hell?"
Or they'll contradict each other.
And the best, so they've done that for jokes for a good bit of the start, and then it came to this part where the rhythm guitarist and the lead singer do not get along, and there's this whole thing where the guitarist's story is that he took what the lead singer had written and tweaked it and made it better, and that there's more than one way to write a song. And the lead singer claims that the guitarist tried to tweak it and then went back to what he had. And there's this line that the lead singer says about how people will convince themselves that things went their way even when that's not what happened, and it's unclear if he doesn't remember it correctly and he's on this power trip of thinking what he writes is great and everybody goes back to what he thinks is good, or if he's right about the guitarist. And the guitarist has been kind of a jerk this whole time, but you've also seen the lead singer be really controlling of the group.
Yeah.
So
you're not sure which side to believe.
Yeah. And it was the first time that was kind of used as less, like, a lot of times it was used for humor.
Yeah.
It's the first time I feel like it was used to make more of like a poignant
reflection on
reality. Like, and a question of like what really happened. And it's also it's underscored by another person saying like, I wasn't paying attention to all that drama. I was too busy doing other stuff.
I was doing lots of drugs. I don't remember.
Yeah, there is a lot of that. But I feel like I was talking to my coworker about it today, and just telling her like I think the characters have a lot of depth. There is no one that is completely like evil and terrible and you hate. I mean, I guess the guitarist is kind of he just is full of himself.
He's a heel.
Yeah, but other than him, I feel like there's a lot of
nuance, depth.
Yeah,
complexity.
Let me say a word like
helping.
You're not.
I'm helping. We finish each other's
sandwiches. I finished your sandwiches. You would not finish my sandwiches. We already discussed this. So, yeah, there is a lot of complexity of character. There is a lot of depth, and nobody comes off as just one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like it. It's really good, even though it's not something I would have picked up. I wouldn't have been like, oh my god, Daisy Jones and the Six. No.
Yeah.
It's not in the genre that I read. It's not in the interest.
Is it just like a contemporary? Well, it's not even contemporary, is it? Because it's.
I mean, I would still call it contemporary fiction.
Okay.
Because it's still fiction set in the real world in largely the modern day, and the fact that it is these characters looking back on their time in the 70s.
They are modern day reflecting on the past. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it would be contemporary. I thought for a second it was in the 70s, but
no. They're talking about oh yeah, man, when we first heard this song, which you get the sense is a big hit within the narrative of the book.
Is it like watching a documentary about a band you've never heard of?
That's what I said. I said it sounded like a VH1 Where Are They Now thing, especially because they have the fully voiced cast.
Yeah.
So it is one of the easiest audiobooks to listen to, and I have not been listening to it at 1.5 or 1.75 speed. I've been listening to it at 1 speed.
At regular speed.
Regular speed. Well, I mean...
regular for me.
Normie speed. Yeah. Because a lot of times it doesn't affect it too much for me to go a little bit faster and to be closer to my reading speed, because I just want to read the book.
I understand the idea of wanting to go faster, but I guess for me, the narrator put inflections in their voice. They read it at a certain tone on purpose.
You still hear that.
And speeding that up is like watching a movie on 1.5 speed. I've
done that before, too.
For a really bad movie. Not for a normal movie-going experience. You don't come home and put on Netflix at 1.75 speed.
Hey, we should watch Kpop Demon Hunters. Can we watch Kpop Demon Hunters at 1.5 speed? Will Netflix let us do that?
I don't know.
Because now I kind of want to.
I think we could do it on the computer.
Okay.
I'm not sure we could do it on the TV, but I think we could do it.
Because now I kind of want to.
Why?
Because it would be funny. Because we've already watched the movie several times.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And two, it'd just be funny. All right.
Yes.
So yeah, I guess we'll go back to reading. What do we even talk about? We're not even... We're generally talking about books.
We're generally talking about books.
So yeah, one more.
One more?
One more. And then sleep time.
Well, sleep would probably be good.
Yeah. Alright, so... yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Alright. Reading will commence.
friends. All the homies. Shout out Monroe. Shout out G.I. Shout out Seneca. Shout out Dallison. Shout out Jimmy. Yeah.
Okay, we're back. Don't want to jump scare anyone.
Have to do your quiet back voice.
Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back to the stream. Part of the stream, part of the crew. So I finished up my chapter of Amina, and then decided I would jump into Aster and the Accidental Magic, which is very much like Hilda and Adventure Time. And I think it's only got the 2 stories in here. Maybe 3. I'm hoping there's more, honestly. Like, oh, yeah. They'll return in Aster and the Mixed Up Magic.
I was going to look up what's in Aster.
Yeah. And Witchlight is promoted in the back of this, which we read as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like this better than Witchlight. I like this a lot. It's very cute. It has a very, like I said, it has a very, like, Adventure Time, Hilda type feel to it.
Okay, it looks like there's only the 2. They were published in 2020 and 2021.
I'd never heard of this before. I just picked it up because I thought it looked cute, and it is, and I'm liking it quite a bit. So
there's only one more to collect after that one. So
okay. Throw your Kindle across the room. So the book is going great. Nice.
Things are going very badly for my character.
Yeah, but you're pulling out all these hilarious quotes.
Oh, it's really funny. My favorite was... Oh, what was it? I gotta find it.
Okay, I'll let you do that. So in the Amina book, in the Adventures of Amina, I did get to, like, the call to action. So we have kind of the framework of, like, how she's getting back in the game. Because she's an older pirate, like, former pirate. And, you know, just like in the heist movies, she has to go back for one last job. That's going to pay all of her bills.
It reminds me of the one with all the guys who were the adventuring party.
The one with all the guys.
It's on your, like, series to check out. They have to go back for one last job because one of their kids is in trouble. I'll find it.
Okay, is it the band?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Kings of the Wild?
Oh, maybe that one, yeah.
That's the first one in the series,
yeah,
the band.
It's got, like, a white cover.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
So this is the line I really liked. It was, "You're really extra fucking special under arrest." Poor Steve. Steve's had an interesting day. But he's made some very, what I like about Steve, without getting into, like, because I'm, like, midway through the book, so I don't want to spoil anything. But what I really like about Steve is that he is making choices that are definitely not the best or most logical choices to be making in his situation.
So this is The Library at Mount Char.
He is...
By Scott Hawkins, who has not written anything else.
He's not written anything else, to our knowledge. We should look that up again.
I frequently check.
You frequently check, because you really like this book.
I really like this book, and I am so upset that he has not written anything else.
Steve is in a very unusual situation.
Mm.
He's in a situation I would offer that literally no one has ever been in before.
Interesting.
And he is having to make decisions based on his situation. And while he is definitely not making what I would call good decisions, like, he's definitely not sitting down and going, what's the best play to do here? He is reacting very, like, humanly. Mm-hmm. Like, I need to do this. This is my priority, and I need to get it done, even if it's going to end badly. Mm-hmm. And I like that because he has some good priorities that are very humanizing for him. Mm-hmm. He's basically trying to save someone, even though it's going to end up very badly for him. which is just very sweet. I've liked his play off of Carolyn.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very clear that Carolyn is using him. But Steve has ruined everything, to my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Steve has not done what Carolyn expected. And while I'm not sure what the ramifications of Steve not doing the things that were expected will be, it is very clear that Carolyn very much underestimated him.
Mm-hmm.
And thought that this would go a very certain way. And it is not, in fact, going that way. It is going off the rails. Which, again, is interesting because I don't know what Carolyn's plan is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping it's going off the rails because if we get to, like, Carolyn is some Machiavellian planner who was like, oh, I foresaw all of this. Mm-hmm. Like, some of it I definitely feel like was planned. She knew he would talk to the dogs. Mm-hmm. Even though she told her siblings, oh, I forgot to tell him about the dogs. How was I to know he would talk to the dogs? Mm-hmm. She knew he had a dog. Mm-hmm. So she knew he was a dog person. Mm-hmm. She set that up. She played everyone in the situation. Mm-hmm. Get that. But there's no way she can anticipate what Steve has done now.
Yeah, Steve's the best.
So I really like that we have Carolyn, who's very smart, who is definitely playing people off each other by not sharing things. But then I really like that Steve has ruined everything by just being a much purer soul than I think Carolyn can understand at this point. Yeah. And I really just like that. Like, Steve has made a lot of mistakes. We've gotten a lot of backstory of, like, problems he's had in his past and mistakes he's made and, like, things that weigh on his conscience. Mm-hmm. But, like, when it comes down to it, he's, like, just a guy who's trying to do the right thing. Yeah. And it's very sweet.
So, Scott Hawkins has another book titled Empty Box that has no description, 2 random 5-star ratings, but he's written some other stuff. He wrote Linux Desk Reference, Open Source Technology Series. He wrote Apache Web Server Administration and E-Commerce Handbook. The Complete Linux Shell Programming Training Course.
Oh, God.
And BEA WebLogic Server Administration.
Man, you got to get to that backlog.
What a banger resume. A bunch of...
Were those before or after he wrote Library of Char?
I believe most of this was before he wrote it.
So he clearly said in an interview somewhere that he was working on a new project. Uh-huh. They made a Goodreads page for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, he said at one point, I was just looking back at, like, quick notes about interviews and things he'd said in the past. He said that he had written one book and was working on like 6 others. But where are they, Scott Hawkins? It's been 10 years.
It's been a bit.
I've been eagerly anticipating them. I sung your praises for literally years.
You have. You have been trying to get me to read this book for at least 8 years.
And how have you been enjoying it?
I've been enjoying it quite a bit. It's weird because I feel like the 2 booktubers I saw talk about this. Mm-hmm. Well, one I saw talk about it and another it was on their shelf. Mm-hmm. But it was on their horror shelf. And the other guy who I saw talk about it was on his horror shelf. And I'm like, this is not a horror book.
It's not horror.
It's not horror.
It's funny.
It's funny and it's fantasy. But
it's like I'd even maybe call it urban fantasy. Because it is modern. It is set in modern day. And
we have, like, hinted at horrors. Some horrific things have happened.
Yeah, but horrific things happen in, like, Neverwhere.
Yeah. But it's not, like... And, like, we've hinted at this sort of, like, oncoming doom, but not in a way that makes it feel like a horror book. Yeah. So I thought that was very interesting that some people see this as horror, because this is not what I would classify as horror at all.
Yeah, I don't see it.
And the book itself classifies itself as a fiction fantasy contemporary.
Okay, sure. Contemporary fantasy? I suppose so. I'd call it urban fantasy. That's what I would refer to it as urban fantasy.
I wouldn't, because urban fantasy I feel like has an undercurrent of being in a city, and they're clearly in the suburbs, like, away from city stuff. Like, I feel like to be an urban fantasy, you are in, like, a, like...
This sounds like the people who are like, oh, you live outside the Loop? You don't live in Houston.
But I mean, like, I feel like urban fantasy has that understanding of it being based in a city.
Urban fantasy also has the tendency to be generally, I feel like has a tendency to be noir. Like noir coded.
Yeah.
Has a lot of like the detective or like this like gritty mystery element to a lot of them.
I'm definitely over halfway now.
Yeah, we're over halfway there. Oh, we got a big message.
This one's really interesting too because I feel like it does multiple POV in a very interesting way. It doesn't do it like Six of Crows, where you're telling one story and you have just chapters from different people and you skip around through the group you've established, telling different parts of the story through characters you've already established. Sometimes we're following Steve or Carolyn, and then sometimes we're following people we've never seen before for one chapter. That's, again, it's a multi-part chapter. And they're gone by the end of the chapter. Yeah. Or maybe they'll come back. It's a very different with the POVs. But I'm enjoying it, and it hasn't been confusing.
So, Carly, I'll say I read Hidden Pictures.
What was the comment?
The comment is, I want to read Hidden Pictures. I heard it's horror. And there's another book called Playground. But I don't know how I'd handle that one. We didn't do Hidden Pictures. We did Strange Pictures.
Strange Pictures.
Yeah. Hidden Pictures is the other one.
Hidden Pictures is the other one.
I've not read that.
I've heard
on the list.
I've heard so things about it.
Playground, my understanding of Playground is it is extreme horror. Which
is it?
Basically just means like super like graphic, edgy horror.
And dark.
Very dark. I read to like dip my toes into that genre. I read Gone to See the Riverman.
And you did not
and I
like
did
it.
not care for it. So I will not be going back. I prefer much more atmospheric horror, or I really like cosmic horror. I really like H.P. Lovecraft.
And I feel like this
not
is...
as a person, but his work.
I feel like this is dipping the Barry O'Shea stuff. They have hinted at some cosmic horror elements.
Yeah.
But at the moment, they've just been hinted at. So I guess if that takes up the last third of this book, maybe I could see people calling it horror because it has cosmic horror elements.
All right, there's an element that I want to see if it's in there. Have they mentioned? I feel like this was early on. Have they mentioned a giant sentient iceberg?
Glacier.
Terribly sorry.
Pretty sure, yes.
Yes. Okay.
It had a name, and I don't remember what it was. It might be an iceberg. Yes.
That felt very.
It was offhandedly mentioned as
like Titans, like Greek.
It was offhandedly mentioned. They were talking about like Father's Court and like the different people who might be powerful enough to do things.
But it's weird. It's weird the things that stick out to you. Like that sticks out to me in this. I want to get the Dragonlance Chronicles books again because someone was reading those, and there's a detail in there that I remember.
Easy Cat was reading that.
Yeah. There's a detail in there that I remember very clearly.
Well, and that was kind of my whole, like, me trying to find these books I read when I was younger, was there was always one detail I remembered that I was like, can I find this book based on this one or two details that I remember from this book I read as a child or teenager. So that was kind of the same thing where I was, except I don't remember for sure what the book is in those cases.
Yeah. Carly says she's heard Playground is hard to read, especially if you have children.
One I will probably skip.
And she has 4 kids, but she's watched some pretty messed up movies, and they just made her mad.
Yeah.
So she feels like it would just make her angry. There are certain tropes that I really don't like in horror. I don't like evil child.
Yeah, you're not a fan of powerful evil child.
I'm not a fan of powerful evil child. I'm not even really a fan of hyper-intelligent child who's like disaffected and worldly. It comes across... being a teacher and dealing with people who are like, 14 to 16 and seeing what most of those kids are actually like, it's just so... It feels so fake. It feels so weird. Like, oh, I already see I already see through this psychiatrist and everything they're gonna do. I'm like, real kids are a mess.
Well, and I have that problem with a lot of writers trying to write children, where it feels like they've either never met children. They've never met a children.
Never met a children.
They've never met a children. It either feels like they've never met a child of the age they are writing, and like they met maybe a child who was 3 years older than the child they're writing about, and just assume they're the same. Like, I can't remember what I was reading, but it was like they had a 2-year-old, and from what I was reading, I was like, this is not a 2-year-old. This is a 4 or 5-year-old.
Yeah, the 2-year-old that's walking around reading books.
Or like they had like
having conversations.
A 1-year-old that's using like complete sentences and like all these things, and I'm like, no, this is not the speech part you're at, and it's not mentioned as being unusual. They just don't know how to write language development, and it bothers me.
Yeah, I also just generally don't want to read about things set in schools, because that's my job.
That's a problem with how many YA books you've read.
Yeah.
A lot of them, I assume, are set in schools.
Is
magical school okay?
Okay, like, set in school does not mean they meet at school and then go on a magical adventure in fantasy land. That's not set at school.
No, but I'm asking, is magical school okay? Like Deadly Education.
Yeah, that was fine. It would be less fine if they were like talking about the minutia about their schoolwork. Well, and then I'd be like,
you haven't read A Deadly Education.
Which one was the one I read?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
There was the one that was like the mystery set in the school.
Magic for Liars?
Magic for Liars. That's the one I'm thinking.
No, Deadly Education is the one where like monsters can see you if you have magic, and so you get whisked away to the school, and you have to learn how to not get eaten by monsters.
Well, I mean, I read the first 2 Magicians books, and they get whisked off to magic school.
Speaking of the Magicians, I was watching the guy who does all the time travel stuff on YouTube, who's watching all the time travel movies, and one of the movies he watched that sounded like the younger version of Palm Springs was written by Lev Grossman.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, right? Like, he originally planned it as a TV series, and then he wrote a short story, and then they turned it into a movie.
I've also heard decent things about his newest book. I don't know. His character was the thing that really made it hard to... It made it hard to read the book. Yeah. But I didn't dislike the book for that. It was just difficult for me. Because it's obviously intended to be... Yeah. Unlikable.
The movie was called The Map of Tiny Perfect Things.
Okay.
So it's one I want to check out because I like time loop stories.
Don't put kids in my books because I don't even know how to write about kids and I have them.
Right? Writing kids is hard. Yeah. I feel like if you are going to write kids, you have to use them very carefully. And they should not be like the eureka moment that makes someone realize something because the kid provided stunning insight. Like, a lot of times that just plays out really, like, cheesily. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like even reading Finley Donovan, and I know she has kids, but her kids are older than I believe the kids she was writing. And even then, I don't know if it's an editor thing where the editors are like, no, you can't write kids who actually sound like kids because real kids are insane.
Yeah. I read Violet recently by Scott Thomas. And...
Thomas or Thompson?
Thomas, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And I liked that one. I thought that the beginning was really slow paced. But as far as, like, I liked the kid. I felt like it was realistic. There was tension between her and her mom, and then sometimes it would ease, and sometimes it would get better, sometimes it would get worse. It wasn't just one note. I thought it was surprising, given, that Scott Thomas, not a woman, but like writing this mother-child relationship very effectively.
That's how I felt when I read Fault in Our Stars. Like, I was like, how does John Green know what it's like to be a 13-year-old girl? Because, like, holy cow. I thought he captured a lot of the insecurities of being a young teenage girl very well.
Yeah.
Like, remarkably well. Like, I haven't read that book in years. But I remember when I read it being like, how on earth?
Yeah. Well, it is 1 o'clock.
Well, who cares?
I do want to finish this up, but I think we're going to call it soon. Any final thoughts on what you've read so far
There
today?
are no children. Well, there are children in this book, but they are special children, and therefore do not have to sound like real children.
That's fine, yeah. Don't even worry about it.
And I don't remember. I want to say that they're like 8 or 9 at the beginning.
That's the thing. Like, what was I reading with the kids the other day? And they're like, "Dad, something so and so," and I'm like, "This is a story about like talking animals, and like this is your takeaway." I feel like with superhero stories and like stories with magic, you'd be like, "So your biggest takeaway was like the kid didn't feel realistic while they were like zapping lasers from their eyes." Okay.
I mean, that's important. But yeah, no kids in this book. Well, like I said, there are kids, but are not treated as normal children, so they are not normal children.
Kid in this book, but treated...
You know, I was thinking as I'm sitting here complaining about all these kids in books, my main problem is kids interacting with adults. When you're reading, like, graphic novels or middle grade, I don't tend to have these same problems with kids not feeling like kids.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's just a, like, genre thing that practiced authors in, like, middle grade or know how to write those characters better, and it's just the adults writing adult thrillers or whatever that have a really hard time realistically portraying children.
Carly says the last song by Nicholas Sparks also captures teenage girl being angry at her dad very well. Yeah, but again, like this is like watching a Saturday morning cartoon with a kid protagonist. Like it doesn't have to have a super lot of depth. She just has to be like, oh, nature's lame.
And,
like,
and she's magical,
yeah.
so she doesn't have to talk like an actual child.
Yeah.
My problem is more when you're reading like a contemporary mystery or a contemporary romance, or not romance. Well, no, a romance too if there are kids like in the background. Any like contemporary thing that is mostly about adults, and then the adults are also interacting with children. It usually feels like the authors do not know how to write children. And so they write them way older than they should be, and that takes me right out of the story.
So, for me, Adventures of Amina, very good start. Very strong start, very fun. I look forward to that. I think ex-sailor, ex-pirate, going back for one last mission in a magical world.
She really an ex-pirate if she's pirating again? Re-pirate?
Can you ever really... Never stopped being a pirate.
Never not playing jazz.
Astra and the Accidental Magic, super cute. Quick read, very fun. If you like Adventure Time, if you like Hilda.
I saw Adventure Time comps in the when I was looking at the second one. Immediately I saw like, oh, this is like Adventure Time mixed with this thing. So you're not the only one to draw that comparison.
All right.
This is good. I am very interested in how it's going to wrap up. I know you really like it, so I'm hoping it's a satisfying.
I feel like the end was. I feel like remembering the end was probably the weaker part of it.
Because there's a lot, like, there's not a lot going on in terms of, like, plot, but there's a lot we still don't understand about why things are in motion and the mysteries that are going on. There's a lot we still aren't clear on. And like I said, well, it's clear that we know very early on that Carolyn is lying to everyone. But we, the reader, are not... We are told that Carolyn is lying. We are not told what she is lying about.
But all the insane books I make you read, like, it's definitely in my wheelhouse.
You do make me read a lot of insane books.
How would you rate it up against, like, Do a Power Bomb?
Much better.
What was the vampire one?
The vampire one?
Yeah. Can't you hear them screaming?
Oh, Knights?
Knights.
This makes more sense.
Okay.
This has more internal consistency than Knights feels like it has.
Okay.
Which Knights could end up being good, but we only read part of the story, so... but this feels more like cohesive so far. I know I need to read part 2. But I like it a lot better than Do a Powerbomb, unless it does something at the end like Do a Powerbomb did, because I would have liked Do a Powerbomb better had that last chapter not existed.
I disagree entirely. All right.
It was a poignant story about a father and daughter, and then it became about fighting God.
No.
Yeah.
That's just what happened. Don't give spoilers. It's a big deal. It's a big spoiler for the end of that book. Anywho, I'm Traben. I post weekly updates on what I read.
We never introduced ourselves.
This is the intro.
This is the intro.
I'm Traben. I post weekly things about what I read. I do book tags. I do book reviews. Soon I'm going to do comp videos because that really seems to be like what I should have been doing this entire time. I also read like 200 books a year.
I've read 59?
Yeah.
I've read 59 books this year, which is on track to be more than last year, so that's nice.
Heck yeah.
I'm Amanda from Amanda Should Be Reading. I should be reading more and filming more and actually posting videos. I haven't posted since March, but
it's been busy.
It has been busy.
It's been a busy summer.
But I stream.
Yeah,
I stream
every week.
So.
I also do bookish video games. You should go check out Paperback Adventures. It was a lot of fun. I didn't like how it ended, but it was still fun.
With the handsome man?
Yeah. Curse of the handsome man. All right, but we're going to take off.
Yes.
Hope your reading journey is going well. Like if you liked the video. Subscribe if you want to see more. Until the next time, take care.
Bye.